Hey guys, Matt Science here, and today I'm here with Qrocea, but not Bailey this time because, well, he has work. Yeah, unfortunate timing for him to have work, isn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't here last week. He's not here this week. Who knows if we're just gonna play Leapfrog for the rest of the series.
Hey, that wouldn't be a bad thing for me because I have someone to talk to either way.
Ah.
It was part of my plan the whole time. Okay, so I have some characters that I still need to go through for the roll call. This is part number 3 for the roll call. We'll start off with Tohru Sohmas, who is voiced by Akio Suyama, who also voices Shoichi from Initial D Season 1, Hugo from Attack on Titan, and Saito Mansa from Gurren Lagann. I don't really know Gurren Lagann that well. Do you recognize any of those characters?
I have seen a lot of Attack on Titan, but I don't recognize them by name because they just keep dying.
Hugo is a character that's been around since the first season, I think, actually. He's like the only, like, one of the few characters that survived from start to finish, somehow. Shoichi is, I forget who he is. He's like he's one of the opponents that Takumi races. And Mansa, I just haven't seen Gurren Lagann at all.
Yeah, I just looked up the translation. It looks like it means ancient lever.
What? The translation for what?
Oh, that's Chinese. It's a Japanese anime, so that's probably not right.
That does not seem right. And also, which character did you look it up for?
Just the meaning of Gurren Lagann.
It's a for it could be Chinese for all we know. That's the thing. I'm sorry, I fixed my hair way too much. I don't know why. I'm gonna move on to the next character though. I am a Soma, who is voiced by Mitsuru Miyamoto, and they voice Gaku Yashiro from Erased, Hines from Monster, and Dale from Seven Deadly Sins. Again, like, 2 of them I know, 1 of them I don't. Although I don't really remember the characters that well. Monster is like that is probably the worst anime I have watched. and it's gonna be the worst anime you have watched as well, Qrocea, because it's on the list.
I guess so then.
Yeah. When we get to that, we're gonna be exposing it for how slow it is. And how terrible it can be when you just have one opening for 74 episodes.
Guess it just depends on how good the song is.
Oh, it's good. It's good when you first listen to it. It's a good beat, but then it's just a beat. It is just a beat the whole way through. There's no words whatsoever, and it's so bad. It didn't take any hints from Ghost Hunt, which is probably the only good anime that I have watched that has an opening with no lyrics that is good. Next character is Kito Soma, who's voiced by Wakaba Murasaki. The only noted role is Akito for this person, for this female. Which is not a rare thing to have happen. Like, there's a character in here that's not even a voice, like the voice actor for the Japanese version is not even known.
Yeah, that's really interesting that they nobody even knows their name. I wonder if they just didn't want anyone to know.
It could be. It's sort of like the situation with Sleepaway Camp at the very end of the movie. They didn't want, like, the guy that in that final shot didn't want to be known, like, he didn't want to be known that he was in it.
Have you ever been in a movie?
I have not.
I wasn't in the movie, but I was running a business that was in the background.
Oh.
And I got paid way more than the extras did. But I was there for like 11 hours. It was so terrible.
Wait, was it an actual business that you had to run?
So normally, yes, it was just my job, but we had to be closed because they were filming. But I still had to come in to make it look like we were working.
Yeah. As long as it pays the bills, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was the manager, so I got paid all right.
Okay, moving on to the next character, we got Sohmas, who we'll meet way later down the line. Like, way in the back half of the episodes, surprisingly. And he is voiced by Mina Tominaga, who's, I'm pretty sure is a female, actually, I think. I'm not 100% sure. But a lot of the characters in this, like, a lot of the male characters also have, like, female voice actors, surprisingly. Like, it's surprising how often it happens. In this, at least. But yeah, Mina also voices Senritsu from Hunter x Hunter. Again, this was the only noteworthy one that I found that I know somewhat.
Yeah, I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter yet.
Neither have I. And it's not on our list at all, so we don't need to worry about it. Next character is Qrocea, who's voiced by Yuriko Fujisaki. They also voice Kaori from Akira and Hatsuha Toba from Detective Conan, also known as Case Closed. It is a bit silly how a show called Detective Conan also has like the English version of it is apparently Case Closed. It's like, you have a title in English already, or like, can't you just use the translated, like, Detective Conan as the title for English version as well?
Right, that's funny.
And it's like the only show that I've seen that has done that. I haven't found many other shows that do that. Goddamn mail just appearing on my screen. I'm in the middle of recording right now. We're in the middle of recording right now. Email. Can't you see?
Yeah, you should know by now not to pop up when we're recording.
And I've only got one last character, Qrocea, who's voiced by Kaori Nazuka. She also voices Chelsea from Akame ga Kill, main and theatre. Tohru Hagakure and Yu Takeyama from My Hero Academia. Nolly Lamperouge from Code Geass. Mai Taniyama from Ghost Hunt. Aru from Konosuba Legend of Crimson. Christina Wako Yamata from New Game. Chloe from Spice and Wolf. Tsubaki Nakasukasa from Soul Eater and Soul Eater Not. And finally, Yui Kotegawa from To Love Ru. Quite the list of roles right at the end there.
Yeah.
And I know Mai is the main character for Ghost Hunt. I remember that much from covering it with Bailey. Like, a lot, like, I don't remember Chloe from Spice Wolf. I think that might have been like a barmaid, I think. She was in the first season, but she doesn't really make an appearance in the second season. Have you seen Solid, Qrocea?
No.
Oh, it's a good. It's a good one.
I've seen a couple of obscure anime. I've started watching Fairy Tail. I've seen a few episodes from One Piece, enough to know that I don't really like the animation style. I saw a bit of Dragon Ball forever ago when I was a kid. I've seen Fruit Basket.
Yeah. I recently have been watching the second season for the new Higurashi, and when we get to that one, we're gonna be doing a completely different method to what we're doing for the other animes, just because it's makes a bit more sense if you do it in a timeline sense.
Oh yeah.
Especially considering like the second season is basically the first season, but from different perspectives. Big spoiler, sorry about that. But it's not really that much of a spoiler if I'm not saying what happens in the stories, isn't it?
That's true.
It's only a spoiler for what the second season is about after you watch the first.
Yeah. But I think it would be pretty clear very quickly that it's the same thing after maybe just
one episode.
Yeah,
literally one episode. Well, there is a difference. Like, it does add new stuff to it. It's not all the same.
Oh, sure.
Like, it follows completely different characters from the first season, and it's just like, we actually see what happens to these characters. You can build like a extensive timeline for each character in each storyline. Enough about that, though. I'm getting into spoiler territory there.
Right.
Let's get into spoiler territory for the one we're talking about right now. Fruits Basket 2001.
That's right. I only have one character because I'm watching the dubs, and so her name is Laura Bailey. She plays Tohru Honda. You probably know her from Critical Role, and another notable role is she played Tohru Honda in the newer version of Fruits Basket as well.
That's interesting. Like, they got her to come back 18 years later to do the exact same role.
It's kind of nice though if you're watching the dubs. She does a very good job.
Well, I like to stay true to the Japanese versions. That's all. I'm not saying that dubs are terrible or anything like that. Like,
yeah, honestly, dubs are terrible, but I still watch them that way because I don't like to think too much while I'm watching.
Do you have the subtitles on while you're watching, though?
Sometimes.
That defeats the purpose of the dub, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because if you have the subs on while watching a dub, you're watching a dubbed sub.
Why choose? Just take both.
just pick both, and then shoot yourself in the foot. Okay, let's get into. We're starting off. We're hopping back into this. We're starting at episode 8, considering last episode Bailey and I got to the end of episode 7, and Tohru's lied to everyone else about like going to go to a friend's house when she's actually going to the main estate to talk to Hattori.
Right.
You're good there?
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
Oh, I do remember that. This episode it had an impact.
Well, it starts off really positive with Momiji welcoming Tohru to the main estate. Just like, up on the wall is just like, hello! And absolutely just scares her to death.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tohru's like going all the way through to Hattori's house, I think it is. Like, every single Sohma has like their own house in this estate. Which is actually a really big estate when you think about how many different Sohmas there are.
Yeah, apparently in Japan they have family registries, and it would kind of ruin some of the plot points with the Sohma estate. So the author said, in my universe, this doesn't exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Did not know that. You got your research too, I guess, then.
Just a little bit.
I don't really focus outside of the story that much, unless it's like there's a big tangent that I can go off.
I like to find interviews with the creator, the inventor, or whatever
okay.
it is.
But like, most of my tangents that I go off on are mostly like, there's this one little thing. Like, Nichiju was like a really big one for like, I could go on a whole tangent on like one character's like family. And how much business they own.
Yeah.
Like, they own
haven't seen
businesses
that one.
all across Japan, which is the funniest part of it.
I think it's funny that Tohru should know the name of her boss
And doesn't.
and doesn't.
Doesn't
It's-
even realize she's been working for Sohma the whole time.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't gotten to that realization yet.
Yeah, she's met the characters though, so I can't remember if it's exactly this episode or what episode that is, but yeah, she's just oblivious.
I think that's like way down the line. But yeah, Tohru's like in Hattori's house, and she sees a picture of a woman, and which seems a bit odd for Hattori to have. So, like, she doesn't really bring it up because Hattori starts talking first, and is like going on about the Zodiac secret and Akira's choice about letting her stay at the house with Shigure and Kyo and Yuki. And she's also Hattori's like, leave the house and go back to your relatives, which she does. She does at, I think, in the last episode or something, and then she returns.
Yeah.
He's trying to protect her though. He's not trying to hurt her. Hattori's character is an interesting one because he's trying to protect Tohru from getting hurt by hurting her early on, basically. If that makes sense.
And of course she's scared of Hattori at this point.
Well, yeah, because she doesn't know what's going on at all.
And Yuki warned her that Hattori is the one with the memory wiping powers.
Yep. We find out that Hattori can hardly see out of his left eye. And that his assistant had an assistant who was named Kana. And who was a Sohma as well. But she had to leave after he erased her memories. And this is where the sadness kicks in for Qrocea.
Yeah. Hattori is probably my favorite character, and this story is just so sad.
Yeah. That's another reason why he's trying to protect Tohru. He doesn't want to have to erase her memories like he had to do with his girlfriend. Because they do eventually end up like becoming boyfriend-girlfriend. But Aikido doesn't like that and attacks Hattori.
Yeah. And he has to wipe her memories, and he asks Tohru about the snow, and she answers the way his girlfriend did, and it makes him sad, and...
Yeah. So, but yeah, on that point, Tohru, like, as you said, she shows the same mentality as Kana does when she answers the answer spring to when snow melts, what do you think it becomes?
Probably water.
That's his answer. That was his answer to that question. But both Kana and Tohru say spring.
It's cute. And it shows that they both have kind of a positive look on life.
Yeah. Also, earlier in the episode, before she gave that answer of spring to the question, she did slip on the wood and almost like smack her head or something. And Hattori's just going to catch her, and he's just like, well, short. It's just like, oh, I can't do anything about this situation. And ends up transforming into a seahorse.
Yeah, in this version, it was really unclear what his actual zodiac animal is, because he becomes a seahorse.
It's a dragon.
Right,
He's
it's a dragon. But the whole episode, I'm talking to my wife, and I'm like, so is he the horse or is he the dragon?
Seahorse, technically, like, the classified name is sea dragon.
Right.
No, the horse is a completely different character that we meet in the 2019 version.
Yeah. They do a little bit better job of making it clear that he's the dragon right away in the 2019 version.
Yeah. And when both Kana and Tohru transform the Hattori into the seahorse, they're both just like, what do I do? What do I do? Water, water.
Yeah.
And Kana's idea was a bathtub of like boiling water. And Hattori's just like, he's like, you almost, like, if you did that with a real seahorse, you would have killed it.
I do think that's interesting, because Shigure says that the only real difference between them is that they can still speak after they transform, and they can also talk to other animals. They don't. He says that they don't really get any kind of superpowers from it, but Hattori does say that they're more durable in their animal form than the natural animal is.
Also, for some reason, I have an obsession with Tohru almost seeing characters ding-dongs when they transform back, but she does almost see Hattori's sausage.
Lots of fan service. That's standard anime.
Well, no, it's like reverse fan service, because it's like we don't see anything of that nature. Like aimed at the camera, it's always turned away from the camera. But when it's turned away from the camera, it's at her. Although I'm, as I mentioned earlier, like in the previous episode, I'm pretty sure she's at least seen Shigure's and Yuki's at some point, based on her reactions.
Seems that way.
Yeah. And let's move on from low-hanging fruit and get out of the Sohma estate. But on the way out, Tohru sees Akito in the window. She's just hanging out the window, just like, hey.
Hey.
Like, how you doing?
I don't know exactly what Akito's deal is, but it does look like she's sick in that scene.
I think she was.
They do. I think even in this episode, they mentioned that Akito is pretty much a full-time job for Hattori.
Yeah. I don't think they mentioned it in this episode. I think they mentioned it. It's just like a running thing that whenever Hattori's on camera, it's just like there's this mention to Akito. Okay. We're moving on to episode 9 now. We're doing a pretty good job of getting through the first episode of the day. We are now on to the New Year's Eve episode. And yes, I do sort of say that sort of stuff for certain episodes because, like, it's clearly at the start of the episode it's themed around that sort of holiday.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you know what a tradition is in Japan, apparently? In Qrocea?
Probably the fireworks. I guess the dinner.
No, cleaning the house.
Oh yeah, it's like our spring cleaning.
Yeah. And meanwhile, but yeah, Hannah's taken over cleaning the toilets. And Shigure's come in to like use the toilet, and she's like, "You can't use the toilet right now." And he's like, "Why not?" And then she goes into this long-winded conversation, like explanation on why Shigure can't use the toilet at the moment.
I think that the dynamic with the editor in this episode is hilarious.
What?
Shigure's publisher?
Mitsuru?
Is that her name?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have it in my notes that that's her name and that her nickname is Mi-chan. According... Like, that's what Shigure calls her. So it'd be like, it's a lot easier just to call her Mi-chan. Later on in the episode, like, Hannah's like, "Hold on, there's a second toilet upstairs," and goes to do that one. And she like cleans it, and then you just see I think Kyo walk in first, and just sees the bathroom, and it's all like black velvet and stuff like that,
and the roses. Black roses.
I don't think they were black roses. I think they were actually just normal roses. I think they were
just
red ones. But yeah, like you see, opened up the door and just looks up and down, and then just closes the door and just walks away. Just like, okay. And then Yuki does the same thing and looks up and looks down and just like, nah.
Too much.
Yeah, too much for us. Also, while Hannah was cleaning the first toilet, Yuki and Ko were trying to move the bookshelf, and Shigure was helping. And then he's like, and then Shigeru's like, Mi-chan, we need your help. So, and like, she comes to help, and Shigure just takes off. And then she's like going to chase after him, leaving the boys just holding the bookcase, and it falls through the door, the paper door, absolutely just destroying it. So now they've got to fix the paper door again, considering how many times it's been broken so far. And then Mi-chan knocks a chair that Kyo was on, and it causes him to fall through the paper door again. She's like, that paper door got a right to sue this whole household. It is just funny how it's just like multiple times through the same door. It's just like, at some point you do realize what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Also, for some reason, Shigure decides to make a kite. Don't know why.
Sorry. Decides to what?
Make a kite.
Oh, yeah.
He's just out there just flying a kite.
I think that's also a New Year's tradition, but it's more for children.
Yeah. Maybe, but it's just funny how he's just like flying a kite when he's supposed to be doing work.
Yeah, just to troll Mi-chan.
Yeah.
Or woman.
And then, like, lunch comes up and, like, Tohru made a shrimp soba for everyone. And we get, like, Shigure is, like, the king of, like, doing meta jokes with, like, because he's a publisher sort of character. So he's, like, got, like, the, like, card sort of stuff, of, like, symbols. Like the angry one with the 4 lines, and then the one with the heart.
Yeah.
He's like, I love it, and he's holding up a heart symbol sign. And Shigure's finally given up on messing around with Mi-chan, because guess what?
Already done.
He's had the manuscript ready to go since the, like, ages.
Terrible troll.
Yeah, he is the worst when it comes to trolling, but he's also the best at trolling.
Yeah.
So Mi-chan goes and takes the manuscript to wherever she has to take it, which is actually really thick. It's like a really thick, like, binder, basically. Why would I don't get why it's like has to be so thick of like paper.
The manuscript?
Yeah.
That might just be showing how many pages it's supposed to be.
Usually a manuscript is like half that size, though, isn't it?
I guess it just depends on what he's writing, if it's a novel or if it's a script.
Well, we know what it's not. We know it's not an erotic manga.
This time, at least.
Not this time, yeah. It's like a running joke of like, if you're a writer, you do at least one erotic thing in your work time.
You know, just for the money. Just
Yeah.
for the money.
So yeah, after Mi-chan's left, Shigure explains what happens at the Sohmas Zodiac banquet, of which Tohru's not allowed to go because she's not part of the Zodiac. It's really just a 3-day gathering of everyone, and this year's dance, in the anime, the banquet dance will be performed by Momiji, who is the rabbit. Which, I'm not 100% sure on this, but it most likely puts it in 1999 or like something like that. At least that's what I figured.
See.
Because like the year of the rabbit is 1999, 2011, and like 2023. And considering the show comes out in 2001, it wouldn't really be set in the future, would it?
Well, they started writing it in 1998. So if 1999 is Year of the Rabbit, that makes sense.
Oh, I didn't know they. I think I had seen that they had started writing it in 1998. So this anime most likely takes place in the year I was born. For half of it. This anime is older than me, technically. Then.
We don't meet the tiger character at all, do we? In the old anime?
No, I think we do.
Right. The tiger is
Kisa.
Yeah. So they said that the dance is between the old Zodiac and the new one, so it would be Momiji and Kisa dancing together.
I don't think they actually say that in it, do they?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Unless it's just in the manga.
Well, I haven't read the manga, so it would have had to have been in the episode.
They probably mention it in the dub version, but I don't think they mention it in the sub.
Alright, maybe that's it.
So, Yuki, Kyo, and Shirei are all off to the banquet at the Soma estate. And Yuki and Kyo are just like... just going on about how Tohru's really clumsy and all that. And reckless. Careless and stuff like that. It's like... she knows how to take care of herself. Like... you don't have to be that harsh on her.
Yeah, that one time that Kyo walked her home, he got a
bag to the head.
Yeah.
Just whoop-boom! Right to the side of the face as well. It's like, that is a pretty solid hit. And the fact that Kyo in that situation does not react to a bag to the face just speaks to, like, how much he doesn't really even care about it. In a way.
He's a fighter.
Yeah, he's probably been hit by worse. So, yeah, Shirei messes with Yuki and Kyo on the way there, making up a story about a burglar going around stealing. And then Saki just appears out of nowhere, like kinda just appears out of nowhere and just scares the living daylights out of the three of them. So both Yuki and Kyo like kinda convinces both of them to go back home to Tohru, because she would be alone in that situation. And they both collide heads, I think. Like, they both collide into each other, like, head first. And we get, like, a commentary, like, you know how, like, some animes, or, like, some movies, there's, like, a director commentary?
Yeah.
We basically get that type of joke from Hana. Like,
also... Hana makes a great joke at the end.
What kind of joke?
Tohru says, "Oh, the first phone call of the new year, I'll have to call Hana to tell her thank you."
And Tohru?
And then Hana is sitting in her house, and she turns around and looks at the camera and says, "I'll be waiting."
Hana has probably some of the best jokes in the whole show because of how blunt she can be when she's making her jokes.
By the way, if it is correct that this is the year 1999, I just looked up their age because we know they're all. We know what year in school they are. So right now in 2021, they would be almost 40. The three main characters.
Really?
Yeah, 38 years old.
Wow. We got someone in chat just been like, "That wasn't funny," and I'm like, the joke that you mentioned. It's just like, you don't get.
I think it was funny.
We're not trying to be funny. We are explaining the jokes from the show and how funny they are.
An explained joke is never funny.
Yeah. We're not trying to make funny jokes from the jokes of the show.
Yeah, if you want to see the jokes, you have to watch the episode before we talk about it.
Yeah. What are you even doing here, Pennywise? That is literally the person's name in the chat. But yeah, so both Yuki and Kyo like get back to the house and they just see Tohru just sitting there with the picture of her mum. Oh, good luck trying to do that, Pennywise. There's two of us. And we're not even in the same room. So good luck with that one. But yeah, we find out that Tohru was listening to Enka folk music, which is Japanese folk music, basically. It's the funny thing about it, like, certain people, you can easily just remove them.
Oh yeah.
I literally just basically blocked him. He can only watch now, he can't talk.
Yeah, I'm not even on the Amino app right now.
But yeah, so Shigure's left to tell Akito that Yuki and Kyo decided not to come in the end. Because Kyo, Yuki and Tohru are all sitting on the roof watching the first sunrise of the year. And that brings us to the end of episode number 9.
Yeah, this one, it sounded like Shigure was trying to convince them to stay home the whole time.
Yeah, he sort of was, but also he's like, you do need to go at the same time.
Yeah, he's the one who has to tell Akito, and we all know how dangerous that is.
Yeah. Considering Akito almost blinded Hattori, basically blinded Hattori in one eye. Like, I think it was only one hit or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's different between the two anime. In this one, Akito breaks a pot.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
A piece of it hits Hattori in the eye.
And Akito's like, it's like, this is your fault. It's like, no, it's not. Anyway,
it's never Akito's fault.
It's always Akito's fault. Anyways, we're moving on to episode number 10 now, where we are finally going to meet Hatsuharu.
Oh yeah, Haru.
I love the joke at the start of the episode though. He's like looking at a sign trying to figure out where he is. And these girls are like they're just like sort of like amazed at him and stuff like that. Like they're awing over him. And then he goes
to a party. Maybe he'll take us with him.
Yeah, and then he gets on a bike and it's a fake out joke of a motorbike, but it's actually just a normal bike.
Ding ding.
Yep. He actually does that. And while that's happening, Yuki beats Kyo up with leeks. Didn't even need to throw a punch, just threw a leek right in, like shoved a leek right in his mouth. and why Yuki's just not really trying that much is because he got a cold somehow. And Kyo's like, this episode's like, they're doing the endurance run, so Kyo's really excited for it, and he's like really pumped up. And Yua decided to skip on doing the endurance run, and Hana's just like, she starts it and then just like immediately sits down. She does like a whole fall over bit and all that.
Go on without me.
Go on without me. You'll be fine. So we don't know yet that the guy with the white hair is Hatsuharu. Hatsuharu, yeah, that's right, isn't it? Yeah. Japanese names are the hardest names, in my opinion. Well, of what I try to pronounce. I am not going to try to pronounce Russian names.
Oh man.
If we ever cover an anime with Russian names in it, I'm just going to be like, okay, we are just going to step right back and not touch it. But yeah, so Tohru's like doing the endurance run and she sees him down the hill. And it's like thinking, oh, it's an old guy that fell down. And then, like, she...
So sweet of her.
Yeah, but she starts running down towards him, and he turns around and it's like, yeah? And she's like... It's like a cutout joke for some reason. She's like bouncing on one foot down. If you remember that?
Not really.
No, she's like shocked, so it's like... You know how like they have like the cardboard cutout sort of stuff when someone's shocked? Yeah. She does. That's basically what happens to her. But she's still moving, so she's in the shot. It's like bouncing down the hill. And so, like, the white hair guy is like wants to talk to Kyo, so he's like got a rope and he's just pulled it taut. And Kyo just goes from upright to full on face plant.
Yeah. Of all people, he deserved it.
Although we do get a full fall break from her as well in the moment. It's just been like, don't copy my actions. Like, do as I say, no as I do, basically.
Yeah, first of all, who are you talking to?
She's like, who are you talking to? And he's just like, don't worry about it, I was just talking to the camera. Camera? So yeah, somehow Haru, which is his nickname, he got lost for 3 whole days trying to find Kyo, just to find him. He's just like, where the hell am I? Like, there's one thing I did read, and that's Haru somehow got lost on the way to the toilet in a house.
It happens.
And Kyo had to lead him to the toilet. Oh my. But yeah. Haru just decides, I'm gonna headbutt Kyo in the back of the head. And then Kyo just returns the favor by kicking him square in the chin. At which I noted 2 lines where there's just like, I noted a few lines in here that are just like, they just turn into like classic like unintentional jokes in a way, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Qrocea?
No.
So like this one, today's the day when you're mine. What are you going to do once you have me? That's like, if you read it one way, it's a gay joke.
Oh yeah.
There's also, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and on top of it all, I'm even gonna do that. Which is a sex joke.
Yeah, I think the joke was that Haru was making a sex joke and didn't realize he was.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's like, it's supposed to not be a joke, but it ends up being a joke. And then we got a meta joke with Tohru being like, somehow this has become a fighting anime.
Lots of fourth wall stuff in this one.
But it's just funny, it's just like that's an anime genre meta joke. Because like, a lot of animes have multiple genres listed with them. So,
Sure.
Like, yeah, that would be something that happens, but it's just like absolutely hilarious. How it's just like, you don't really get many people calling out the fact that it's becoming certain genre from what it normally is.
Yeah.
So yeah, Yuki's cold has gotten a bit worse, so he has to be taken back to the house. Like, I think he actually transforms into a rat because of it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and Haru's just like, oh, she's cute enough, gives Tohru a hug, and turns into an ox right in front of her. So now they have to walk, like, Haru back as an ox to the house with Yuki on the back of him, and like Tohru sort of like hugging him to make sure he doesn't turn back into a human in public, and Kyo's just walking along as well because he's just like, he sort of has to. Like, I don't know why he does, because he could have just not gone along and avoided the embarrassment.
Yeah.
Also, again, I am back on the sausage tray for some reason, with Tohru most likely seeing Haru's one.
He doesn't seem to mind.
He doesn't care, but I don't know why I'm so obsessed with Tohru seeing... I don't know why I'm so obsessed with Tohru seeing some dick.
I don't know why the author's so obsessed with it.
It's sort of like it's a product of what you see in the show, isn't it? It's sort of like a High School of the Dead with all the panty shots. It's like that's just a product of bad outfit choice.
The author wrote it that way.
No, I don't even think the author wrote it that way. I don't even think it was intended for that to happen. It just happened. So yeah, Kyo's just like, I'm gonna go back to school now because, like you've got him home now. You don't need me here.
Yeah.
And Haru's just like, you are having an effect on Kyo and Yuki's attitudes towards each other and all that. Like they're a lot less angry than the start of the show.
Yeah, they don't try to kill each other every day.
It's only every third day or something like that at this point.
Hey, that's a 300% increase in positivity.
So we also find out that Haru has a black Haru. If you, I'm not trying to be racist or anything like that. It's what they call his like dark version. It's sort of like Sonic and Shadow, isn't it?
Yeah, or like probably more like Sonic and Metal Sonic.
Yeah. But isn't Metal Sonic a good guy?
No. Well, at least he doesn't start out that way.
Mm. But yeah, so Black Haru developed from Haru's hatred of the rat. But ever since that, he actually likes Yuki in a weird way.
Big ol' crush on him.
Huh?
Not even that weird. It's just a crush.
Big bro crush?
I don't think even a bro crush. I think Haru's just bi.
Don't you mean Haru?
Yeah, that's what I said.
It sounded like you said Karu. That's all.
No, with an H.
Karu with a H.
Yeah.
But yeah, his parents couldn't even handle Black Haru, so they enrolled him in martial arts. So we actually have like 3 characters that study martial arts in this show. That's almost enough for a competition round, like tournament style thing. Like it's just a basic one though.
Yeah.
So yeah, Yuki finds out how he got home after he wakes with the whole being carried on Haru's back. And Haru is just like, play a little bit of a joke on, like a little bit. It's not even really a prank. It's just like, he asks Tohru to call Yuki by his name, which he does, and that causes him to transform again from stress.
Yeah. They do this really weird in the dub. So all of the girls at the school call him Prince Yuki.
Yeah.
And instead of calling him by his name, so out of respect, and I think also by the club's rules, she in the 2019 version she calls him Soma. But in this one she's just been calling him Yuki all along, and so they couldn't do that when he's unconscious. So they had to have her call him by a nickname instead, and so she calls him Prince. And that's just weird.
And that works on him?
Yeah, and that's how they handle this scene in English.
Meanwhile, on a bit of a side note, Hana was just chilling at the gate and playing Old Maid with the students that finished. And Shigure even comes along and plays, and Kyo's there and also playing.
Funny thing is that the gym teacher plays.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I didn't
in
notice.
the very last scene.
I didn't notice. But yeah, Shigure and Kyo also catch colds because they were playing Old Maid in the cold. Which is not a smart idea whatsoever. I don't know why someone would want to play Old Maid in the snow. Or like in the cold weather.
I guess Shigure must have thought it was worth it.
What about Kyo though?
He had to be there.
Yeah, he had to be there. He needed something to do. And with that, we're moving into episode 11, which is the Valentine's Day episode. So, like, the episode starts off with like Yuki opening his locker and seeing chocolates inside, and everyone else was expecting like a giant waterfall of chocolate to come out of his locker, like his shoe locker. And Hannah's like, well, it would actually make sense because it's similar to a cuckoo chick pushing shrike eggs out of its nest. And that explains why there's only one bag of chocolates in Yuki's shoe locker. Also, another good piece of evidence is the bin full of chocolate. Like, that's a good way of doing a joke. It's like, you do this whole analogy thing, and then you end it off with, also, there's just a bin full of chocolate just off to the side.
Yeah, I'm honestly the biggest culture shock for me in this episode was that their cubbies aren't locked. Like here in America, we just call them lockers.
Well, they're only for shoes. That's why, I think.
I guess so, and chocolate. Shoes and chocolate.
Whoa, you need to go watch Hensuki then. Oh my gosh. They be leaving stuff in the main character's locker heaps of times. So yeah, Yuki's fangirls really want to give Yuki their chocolate, which, if you think about it, is a bit of a euphemism. In the way that they go about it.
And he just pushes their head and dances away.
Nah. So another girl like tries to give Kyo some chocolate, and he freaks out. He's just like out of there.
Today's Valentine's Day.
Oh no!
I forgot.
And you know why he's so scared of Valentine's Day? Qrocea?
Well, yeah, of course I do. But does your audience?
I don't think they do.
I saw the episode.
Yeah, he's scared of Valentine's Day because Kagura shows up. And for some reason, she made a big chocolate heart. Oh, you fucking are.
You get a pop-up on your computer?
No, it's on my fucking phone. Okay, I have just closed the Mino. Can't. Literally, someone just basically hijacked my, the chat room. Basically.
That sucks. Probably that Pennywise clown.
Most likely. It might have just been an advertisement thing that came up though. For all I know. And it's just like, why do you do that sort of thing, Amino?
At least Discord's still pretty good.
Yeah, but I can't get more than just you, me, and Bailey. Need to get other people to come over to Discord. But not many people like to talk about anime. I put links to the lab. Like, I can't actually put a link to the server, but I put the name of the server in my description every time. It's just that no one reads descriptions. Big surprise, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, so getting back to the big chocolate heart, she says it's stuffed full of my love. And you haven't seen Shimonetta, but it just reminded me of Shimonetta. And just like, oh, just gonna avoid that one.
Or that joke from Family Guy. I put my hair in it so that I'll always be with you.
Nah, it's way worse than Shimonetta. It's way worse.
I'm sure it is.
Because in that, love is the female, like...
Yeah, I'm sure I can guess.
The female version of male juices. That's the best way I can put it without it being inappropriate. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you trying not to laugh over there?
Yeah?
Because you do know what I mean.
I do. I really do.
It's disturbing and funny. But yeah, Kyo hates chocolate. I don't know why he hates chocolate.
I think I do. I think it's because he lived with Kagura for too long.
Oh, it's more just her that he hates, not the chocolate itself.
Or that she just tries to give him chocolate too often, so he just kind of associated it with her.
It's just like, here's your chocolate. Just at least one meal per day had chocolate in it. Also, I don't think he even lived with her. He lived in the mountains for a long time.
Yeah,
or at least a few years.
Momiji says that even Kyo used to live on the estate.
Yeah, but they have their own separate houses. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, I don't mean they necessarily lived in the same house. They were probably just like next door neighbors. They saw each other all the time. The inner estate was just for the Zodiac, and there's only possibly 12 or 13 if you count the cat, so it's not a very big complex.
Yeah. Well, Kisa and Hiro live together, though.
Yeah.
Because they're like...
I'm sure that...
They're the youngest two, aren't they? Of the Zodiac?
Yeah. I'm sure that the cat probably doesn't get as nice of a house, honestly, because they're pretty prejudiced, so... Yeah. So even if Kyo was living in the estate, like, they showed one of the former cats in one scene, and they were living in a house behind bars. Yeah. So, it can't be very good for Kyo in the complex.
I'm guessing he fled the complex in the end.
And lived in the mountains.
You're not getting the reference, aren't you?
No, actually, no. Sorry.
Stickmin. Henry Stickmin. One of the games is called Fleeing the Complex.
Oh, it's been so long. I don't even remember any, like, other than there was a lot of blood in a stick man.
So yeah, Tohru comes out and is just like, I made chocolate for every Zodiac member. And also, she also made chocolate for her friends and all that. And at which point, Kyo's just like, Kyo's like accepting her chocolate, and she's like, and Kagura's like, why aren't you accepting mine? And so he literally just chomps into a chocolate heart that is not hollow. It is fully, like, all chocolate. Like, literally takes a bite out of it, and you see the inside, and it's all chocolate, all the way through to the center.
Filled with her love.
No. It's just chocolate all the way through.
Right.
Her love's right in the center. Don't want to get to the center of that heart.
Honestly, I'm hoping that this next Valentine's Day I can get a giant chocolate heart. That would be really nice.
I don't really care about chocolate that much. I don't even really care about, like events, really. Like, Halloween's coming up, I don't really care about it. My birthday's coming up, I don't even really care about it.
Yeah, the nice thing about Halloween, though, is that all the candy is on sale. So even though
All free.
I don't... What's that?
All free if you're going trick-or-treating.
I'm a little bit too old for that. I do have a kid that was excited for trick-or-treating, but...
Can't do it this year.
The whole 2 months leading up to it, candy's just on sale, and I could just go buy as much as I want for cheap. And
the joys of being a parent, huh?
I keep saying this time it's going to be for the trick-or-treaters, and I'm just buying it early to be prepared, and then I eat it all and go back and buy more.
So yeah, Kagura's like, says to Kyo that Haru said he and Yuki were getting along a lot more, like starting to get along a bit better and all that. So, like, stuff does carry over from previous episodes, but a lot of the episodes just feel like standalone episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. A lot of episodes do end up feeling like standalone episodes, especially episode 8. Like, episode 8 was a very standalone episode. Just so we can learn Hattori's backstory.
I do think some of the character development is pretty sequential. Like when, well, this is actually the next episode, so I won't say anything about it yet. But Hattori is there, and you wouldn't have as much as connection to the character if you still were kind of scared about him wiping her memory.
Hmm. Well, a month in the show just passes and the tests are done. And you're kind of happy that Tohru did really good on the test. Thanks to Yuki's help with studying. And Yuki's fangirls are just like really surprised to see Yuki smiling so sweetly around Tohru and all that.
Why doesn't he look at me that way?
Yeah. Yeah, Kyo's not a good studier, we find out. Alongside Hana not being the brightest student in the class, although she technically is smarter than most students if you think about it, because she fails the test, then does the makeup test, which is a lot easier.
Yeah, that's true smarts.
Yeah, you don't have to study as hard. So yeah, the situation comes up in Tohru's life, and she has to work even harder to just make the money that we find out later is what she spent all the chocolate on. And
You bought it from all the Zodiac.
Yep. Mama G is at the house and welcomes Tohru back home. Mama G's like the greeter of the family. Always welcoming always welcoming Tohru back to the house. For some, it always seems to be Mama G that does it. And we find out, and Mama G's like, "Hey, what's tomorrow?" And Tohru's like, "March 14th." And you know what March 14th is in Japan?
It's White Day.
Yes.
You have that in Australia? It's not a thing here.
I don't think it's a thing here either. But White Day is the day when a man who received chocolate on Valentine's Day gives a gift of sweets back to the person that gave them the chocolate. So,
I think it's kind of interesting to split it up into 2 holidays. I mean, here we just, everybody does everything on February, so if you get chocolates, you just give them back the chocolates the same day. Well, not the same chocolates, obviously, I mean...
It's just like, thank you! It's like, thank you, here you go!
You know what I mean.
Yeah. So yeah, Mama G's just like, I'm inviting you, Yuki, and Kyo up to the hot springs. I'm just noticing in camera I look very tired. I apologize for that.
Yeah, it's almost midnight.
No, me.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you bastard. But yeah, so Shure they figure out why Tohru was unable to pay last month's installment for a class trip. So for a class trip that was going to be happening soon, and it's because the chocolate.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Kyo, somewhat a little bit unreasonably gets angry at Tohru for spending so much on chocolate. But like, she's gonna be nice no matter what. You might as well just accept it at this point. Like, accept the free chocolate.
You need to be more selfish, Tohru. Also, I love the concept that Kyo's gift to her is just to spend time tolerating Yuki. Oh yes, of course. My gift to you is that I will go on vacation.
So yeah, Mamaji, while Tohru is going up to, I think, her room to do something, Mamaji tells Kyo about a kid that brought in a book called A Complete Collection of Stories of the World's Fools. And to which he recalls the story of the most foolish traveller in the world. I'm not gonna... I did write it down. I wrote like 8 lines of it. But I'm not gonna read it all because it's just like... The cliff notes basically, this traveller got swindled by everyone, including creatures in the forest, until he was just a head with no eyes. He received a gift that said the word fool on it. Like, it was a piece of paper that said fool on it, and then he died.
Yeah, the big deal is that the traveler said, I've never received a gift before, thank you, this is so sweet of you, because they couldn't read that it said fool.
Yeah. And even if he could see it, he probably wouldn't have cared. It was just like the fact that he received something. So yeah, Kyo wasn't going to go in the first place. So, and Tohru's now happy that Kyo's just like, I'm going to go now. It's just like, sudden 180 from Qro, which is like one of his character traits. Always does sudden 180s. Isn't it? It's just like, I'm gonna not do this. Okay, I'm gonna come with you.
It's becoming a pattern.
Yeah. And with that, we've reached episode 12. We'll probably get through episode 12, then we'll probably have to end it because we've been going for an hour and a half almost.
About that.
So yeah, for some reason, like I get why anime does this, but we get a recap of last episode, even though we don't even really need the recap because we're sort of binge watching it, aren't we? When we watch it.
I mean, I guess this was in 1998 that they started writing it, right? And then,
well,
2001
is when it started coming out.
There's no real.
No, it's more the fact that it's a weekly. In the time that it was being released, it was a weekly release.
Yeah, there's no real streaming services back then, so.
No, I'm pretty sure there would have been. It's just that you can't really watch. You had to wait a week to watch the next episode. Each time. So yeah, Momiji, Yuki, Kyo, and Tohru are all off to the hot springs. And for some reason we get two princess jokes with Tohru and Momiji, of which, like, one's like a traditional princess joke, and then one's like a geisha princess joke. At least from what I remember.
That didn't really come across in the English version.
The visuals would have been the same, right?
Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, we meet Akami Soma, who is the hostess of the Soma Hot Springs, and is Risu's mother, a character we have not met yet, but we're going to be meeting much later on. And Momiji calls her Mesho-san, which is not even close to right. So yeah, Akami lives at the hot springs since she's like probably one of the most frail characters in the whole show. Worse than Aikido. Yet somehow she doesn't need as much medical attention.
Or at the very least, Aikido is probably more wealthy, can afford all the medical attention.
Well, she gets really fast medical help from because the Soma facility is located at the hot springs as well. So she has it a bit easier than Aikido in some ways.
I guess so.
We need to move Aikido from where he lives up to the hot springs. Yes, Shigure couldn't join because he has deadlines on 2 books this time round. Just giving him more work so he can't do anything silly, can't he? Isn't she? Mi-chan.
And
Mi-chan's...
when will you learn? Shigure will always do something silly.
So there's a weird joke that happens where with Momiji is just like people get lost in the mountains and the Somas have to send out search parties if the people do get lost. And it's sort of like treated like a joke, but then it's not a joke, and then is a joke. Like, in some weird way. Like, I don't get the joke at all. Like, I literally had to write in brackets, joke with a question mark. That's how confusing it was.
I wonder if that's just a translation issue.
No, I'm watching the sub version though. So it's actually spoken in the normal, like, in Japanese. And then Momoji makes another joke about Kyo wanting to sleep with Tohru, and Akami freaks out because that's her whole character trait. She freaks out at like the smallest things. And it's just like, are you serious about that sort of stuff? And she's like, I'm sorry. And all that. So yeah, Yuki and Kyo have to put up with Momoji while Tohru gets some alone time with her mother's picture. Also, I forgot, I literally just blanked and skipped the whole point. Like, Momoji wants to bathe with Tohru, and Yuki's just like, no, that she's getting her private time. And Momoji's like, oh, okay, but I get to sleep with her. It's like, I don't think Momoji gets what that's supposed to mean.
Well, I think Momiji does get it. I think they're just pretending to be innocent.
Yeah. So, Momoji has his own song that he comes up with. I don't remember the lyrics of it though, but it's just funny, and Tohru even sings along. It is a catchy tune, I just don't remember it. And then Tohru nearly drowns in the hot spring because she collapses. And it's like, Akami actually saved her from drowning. And also the mother, and also her mother's picture, which is nice. Like, at least she knows what her job is. That's a good thing.
Yeah, even though she freaks out, she's not completely crazy.
Or incompetent. Yeah, and Akami just asks about, why do you have your mother's picture with you in the bath? And like, why was it wrapped in plastic and all that? And Tohru's like, it's basically my last memory of my own mum after she died. Which is, like, this whole show has a lot of trauma. It's too much trauma in the show, isn't it?
It's sad and cute.
Yeah. So the chef and Akami come out with this giant, like, buffet of food, and the chef freaks out over a miso soup being too cold.
Apparently they're related.
I think they're like husband and wife, I think, even. But they both just start going at each other. I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Meanwhile, Momoji's just gave Tohru an overflowing ball of rice to eat. Sorry about that. And after that whole shouting match, or what I wrote in my notes as an apology war. Tohru goes back to bathing, and Akami actually joins her in the bath. And this is where we find out that Akami's child is the monkey of the zodiac. But it's not confirmed. It's not confirmed that it's a boy, like, this is a boy or a girl. They just... Akami doesn't really confirm it, but Moji does. And I feel like Tohru should have put the pieces together.
We're not super good at putting pieces together.
Until she sees it happen right in front of her. If we remember the boar incident.
I figured it out. She's the boar.
I don't think it counts when it happens right in front of you. But yeah, Momoji confirms that Akami has a son, but not what his name is. Only referring to him as Ri-chan. So Kyo and Yuki are playing ping pong, and Kyo's a bit aggressive on the balls. What?
It's just a funny scene. Just laughing at remembering it.
Yeah. Especially what happens next, where Tohru has a go at it and completely misses the ping pong ball. It's just like the most wild swing, and she misses it. And
suddenly, it's turned into a sports anime.
Somehow this anime has turned into a sports anime. But yeah, it actually gets Yuki laughing. Because he's laughing at how someone can be that bad at sport. Although, you'll be amazed, Yuki, at how coordinated people can be. I'm not even coordinating my words properly. So Yuki's White Day gift to Tohru is some hair ties. Some new hair ties for her to wear. I think we only see her wear them like once, and it was only in this episode.
Yeah, I checked for a couple episodes. I lost track of it after a little while.
Hair tie continuity, please, are you?
Hair tie continuity. In the 2019 version, they do. She does wear them again.
In like later episodes.
Yeah, but not. I didn't see it at all in this one.
You've watched the 2019 version already, have you?
Not all of it. I've only watched about half the first season.
Well, yeah, first season's almost... Well, actually, it's not exactly the same. Like, this one season in the original gets sort of stretched over the 3 seasons. Sorry. So yeah, Momoji actually does sleep in Tohru's bed. She can't hug him though, that's the thing. So basically he's like blocked off half the bed from Tohru, which is rude. And then at the end of the episode we find out that Momoji and Haru are going to Qrocea High as first years, which shocks Tohru. Because Haru's like way tall and Momoji's really short. Yet somehow they're the same age and 1 year younger than her. Do I have that right?
Yeah, just a year younger. I think that's also why I think Momiji did know what he was saying was kind of pervy, and Tohru didn't. She thought he was just in elementary school.
Oh, yeah. And also we find out what Shigure got Tohru as a gift for White Day.
There's no continuity for that either.
Well, we never actually see him give it to her. We never see him give her the maid outfit that he got.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, if you think about it, you can probably figure out where he bought the maid outfit.
Yeah.
From a later episode.
Yeah. And also how Tohru disapproves of it. We're gonna have to end this episode here. Next episode's gonna be a fun one. Like, and when I say this episode, I mean the podcast episode. But yeah, next one's gonna be funny because we got that shocking joke coming up. Anyways, links will be in the description to both of my channels and also Bailey's channel. Will be in the description below, and also links will be on the screen to the playlist of Anime vs Reality and the last episode of Anime vs Reality. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. A ding, a ding, a ding. I'm the Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.
Bye.